Hi, I'm Judette and welcome to my world of planning. I am the creator of the Social Media Planner, and what I want to do now is take you through how you plan or how you should plan. Now, the first thing is getting ready, and that is getting a space that leads to effective planning. One of the things that I like to do is I don't like to sit at my desk. I sit at my desk all day long, and sometimes even sitting there, thoughts of stress and all the work I have to do and all the clients I have to serve come into my mind. So I usually take a space that I don't usually work at, and for me it is my coffee table that's in my living room. And the second thing I want you to do after you found the perfect spot that's comfortable and serene, the second thing that I want you to do is to get all the things that you need for planning close by. For me, because I love colors so much, I surround myself with things like pencils, colored pencils and pens, all planning tools, but because they're so lovely in their tone and the palette and the Pantone, it sort of like makes it a vibrant exercise for me. In addition to all the colorful pens and pencils and markers, I usually have a ruler or a stencil close by. Of course, some munchies. Some people I know love to plan with wine or hot coffee. I love chocolates. And of course, a candle, because I want to make my exercise as introspective as possible. And there's always a nearby clock. I tend not to have my phone close by because I don't want any distractions of notifications coming on or somebody sending me a message. Again, it's because I think that planning is so sacred and so special, and I want to treat it just like that. So let's dive straight into the planner that you perhaps just opened and you're wondering, how do I go about planning? Not to worry, I've got you covered. So one of the first things that I want you to do is I want you to turn to the back of your book, and there you will find stickers as well as the dates for your calendar. This one is particularly crucial because this is going to allow you to take national days, and if you would like to, create content around national days that are meaningful to your followers, your fans, your tribe, your customers. One key thing, now you'll notice I went to the back of the book to get the stickers and the national dates to celebrate. I went to the back of the book in the pocket. And a lot of people, when closing the book, they try to do this and it kind of gets stuck. What I want you to remember when closing the planner is you want to go to the back page and you simply want to take the back cover and turn it and then flip it over. See how much easier it is to plan out, or sorry, to close your planner from the back rather than getting stuck and trying to put all the heavy pages onto one side. So I hope you sign the front of your book. And the first thing to do is to go to January's month. Now, one of the key changes that I made in this planner is that I created a dateless format. And what that means is that you can buy the book anytime during the year, and you can start from what specific date or month you are at and still have 12 months of planning. How genius is that? But it does mean that you will have to perhaps take your pen and write in the dates in the square boxes to the side, right? So typically what I would do at the beginning of each month is that I will quickly write all of the dates in my planner. And that kind of zeroes in on specific dates that I would want to celebrate or create content for, or to share content on specific dates, or to start a campaign, right? You begin with your dates first. Now, this calendar date of national dates has a whole heap. It's printed both on the front as well as the back, and it takes you through from January to December. Now, we're going to be changing this every year. And so this specifically is for the year 2019. So having looked at my dates to celebrate, and in January, I see that there is, let's see, there is Popcorn Day, which is on the 19th. There is, let's see, Pie Day. I'm a big lover of pie, right? And I think I can create a great breakfast shot with some vegan pie and a cup of hot chocolate. Now, these dates, depending on where you are with your brand, can either be just fun dates to create content around, or you can take them seriously. So for instance, on book day, if you are a bookseller, you may want to create a sale or some really good stories around the importance of reading. And you can create videos and so forth. So that allows me, if National Book Day falls on in the middle of January, I automatically go to the date and I write down in the date, National Book Day. And by doing so, I automatically zero in, and that's a day that's important to my brand. I may take a colored pencil and I may sketch in a book just to give me some visual content. Now on Pie Day, I might go to my sticker grid and see, is there any pie? There is no pie, but there's a cupcake. And why not? Could we not have a cupcake for Pie Day? Well, I will put my cupcake on Pie Day, and I will just write a reminder here that it is for Pie Day. So here we go. Now, once you start to see your calendar as something that you can reference and place down in the first grid in your social media planner, suddenly the content that is meaningful for you becomes more alive. So one of the things I want you to note is that the planner can double. Now, some of you think, oh my gosh, the book is so big and it's really clumsy on my desk. Now, for me, I like to have a macro perspective as I plan. So I love to see things from left to right. But for some of you, you may be working on smaller desks, and that's okay, because you literally can fold the book in half like so, and you can have a smaller planner in which to work. So that being said, I'm going to open mine out, and what you will see to the left of the page is a room for your big ideas. Now this space is where you actually capture the big ideas you have for January. So like for me and my team, and I, the big ideas in January would be to create opportunities to sell our show within the region. So we have a web-based TV show, as many of you know, and in January that's going to be a big deal for us. So I'm going to put here, create opportunities to sell Forward 40 TV, right? I'm just going to scribble because I know doing it delicately or doing it with lots of art is going to take some time, and I'm on a mission to share with you how you need to plan effectively. So as you go down your grid and your big ideas, you actually want to capture the macro ideas you have for January. What are the big ideas? Write them down. Now I have to say, not all of the ideas will be actionable. Sometimes I would have a big idea for March, and I will go to the month of March, easily found by these tabs. And let's say in March, I know that it's Carnival, and I want to create Carnival content, a video around my costume. Right, so that's a big idea. Now I had this big idea in January. It doesn't mean that I can't fast track my idea through the various months and place it exactly where I need it to be. And that's the beauty of planning. You can forward think. But I'm heading back to January, and you have about 20 lines in which you can plan all of your big ideas. Next to that is, I began each calendar month with a beautiful quote that is supposed to fuel and inspire you when you're creating content. And I always look for that because it gives me the energy to create a plan that's effective for the month. And I hope it does the same for you. Now, at events, trends, and notes, in that section, it's a great idea to, in addition to your national days over here or whatever special days you're celebrating, you might want to either use this area to write down specific hashtags. In January, we begin planning for our Boss Babe Summit in March. So I would have captured that idea in the big idea section. So shall I write it? Boss Babe Summit, start planning. And I might have arranged an event meeting with a hotel on the 19th of January. So right here is a great space to capture dates, special events, descriptions, whatever it is that you have going on right here. So the 19th, meeting with the hotel. I do want to impress upon you that the planner is not a diary. It is a place for social media planning. And having written this down here, I could literally go to the 19th. So you see how the macro becomes the micro. I placed in my January section that we're having a Boss Babe Summit. I placed in my events, trends, and note that on the 19th, I'm meeting with the hotel manager to see different spaces. And immediately here, I'm going through the month of January, right here to the 19th. And I am going to find a spot where it is the 19th, and I'm going to write here, Boss Babe Summit meeting. Immediately, my macro plan becomes a micro action. If you think of that and you repeat that in your mind over and over and over again, think of your macro plan, break it down into an action plan, and then put it in your social media planner to create content, to distribute content, to create your visuals, to create a campaign, to have meetings, all related to the content that you will be sharing over the month. I hope that makes sense. As we go along through the planner, as we go through the year, and I show you how I plan, it's all going to come together, I promise you. Now, having done my big ideas, I am now going to my January brain dump. Now, remember when I said that every big idea you have captured here, whether you put the big idea in January, March, and April, when you come to this page, it's going to seem like a lot. But maybe you don't have a big team. Maybe your team is small. Maybe you have a big team and you still can't accomplish all your big ideas because priorities have changed. What this section allows you to do is that it allows you to go back to your big ideas and then narrow the specific ones you're going to take action on. So, for instance, remember I had put Pi Day when I looked at my calendar? Well, now Pi Day isn't so important because I've realized I have a heap of content to create around my Boss Babe Summit. So I am not going to put it in the area that says January brain dump. This area is not for the big ideas. This area is for the actionable ideas for the month. The macro becomes the micro. This section also allows me to look at, if you're a blogger, because I'm creating this planner, or I've created this planner for small business owners, large brands, micro influencers, big scale digital storytellers. Now, you will have expenses associated with running a blog, running a business. Creating social media content is not free, and it is not always cheap. Yes, you can do it with your camera, but that's a whole other story. But this section allows you to map your income versus your expenses and keeps you on track. How much are you paying your freelance writer? How much are you paying your videographer to create content? What income is coming in? So we receive income from our brand partnerships, from indigenous projects that we create and we sell, different streams from different areas. So we want to write it down, whether it's collaboration, sponsored posts, direct sales, ebooks, YouTube, whatever, and we've also left a blank section in case you have different revenue streams that you can plot, and then you get to map your incoming versus your outgoing. Directly below that, we have social media spend. So if you're creating campaigns, but I actually don't use this section for ad campaigns, I actually use this section to reflect what we're doing in our newsletter. So week one, we produce newsletters all the time, constantly. And I always have a theme for my newsletter, a goal, a duration of the campaign, and it allows me to map my newsletter content. But you can use it for what it was created for, which is to plan your social media spend. Are you having a Facebook campaign? Are you spending money on Instagram to let your content, to allow your content to be seen? This is an area where you're going to map that. Now, having done all my big picture thinking, having broken down my big picture thinking into actionable plans for the month, having known what is my spend, I am now ready to plot out my weekly agenda. So my weekly agenda really is about taking what is important during the month and then mapping that out through the following week. Let me give you an idea of how I do that. Let's go back to the Boss Babe Summit that we are having in March, I believe. So in January, I told you that I would be meeting the hotel manager to see the space. So let's say I have decided on the space and I want to create content around the space. I want to get my audience excited about the conference immediately, even though they don't have to buy tickets for the conference until, let's say, late February. I am going to write down, it was in my macro plan, it became an actionable plan. I met the hotel manager on the 19th. On the 20th, I'm going to speak to my videographer to create video. On the 21st, I might have map out the creative vision for the video of the space I'm holding my conference in. On the 22nd, I might say produce video. And on the 29th, I might say edit video, release video on the 30th. All of those micro actions that were reflected in my macro plan of simply organize a Boss Babe Summit now becomes mapped out week after week after week. So whether you're having an advertising campaign, that's the big idea. How are you going to break down that advertising campaign? Do you have to create visuals? Oh, that's week one. Let's say your advertising campaign is launching at the end of January. Create visuals. Plan it out with my writer. Do supporting video in week 3. All of that becomes a plan. Now, this book is bare. This is where all the pretty stuff comes in, right? This is where you get to draw in and you get to stick things into your planner and you get to really be super creative. And if you're not, I encourage you to use things like rulers and stencils, whatever you need to bring your planner to life. So that's essentially, I mean, I could go on and on and on, but as I said, we have a whole set of time to get better acquainted with the art, the craft, and the science of planning. What I want to say to you is that planning is special. It should not be tedious. Now, the social media planner is not, if you lack discipline, if you are a little bit lazy, it's not going to make you super disciplined. You've got to bring discipline to the table. You've got to bring creativity to the table. You've got to bring the magic to the table. This is a book and it will help you, but you have to meet it in the middle. So thank you so much for watching. Join us on Facebook at The Social Media Planner. Of course, we have a website, thesocialmediaplanner.com. There's a blog on there where you can share comments. And of course, we are on Instagram. I look forward to helping you plan more effectively so you don't have to be overwhelmed by the whole entire universe of social media planning. Good luck, and I'll see you soon. Bye.